Blade Master, and so you can just use it to make sure that he isn't coming in. And here comes the Blade Master now, too late. After that Tome experience has been picked up, and actually boost of speed as well there. That's really nice for Yumiko. Will help him get away, although much less nice, as I say, now that he has the Sorks to really help him out. But it looks like Yumiko actually surrounding his Fire Lord there. I wonder if he was just worried about the Blade Master coming back in and just thought that'd be a good way to protect it. With these 2 ivory towers, it's possible actually that he could get a expansion here, or he could at least try for one. Certainly it'd be possible. Looks like that is what he's going for now, and he is not bringing in any peasants though. He has a whole bunch of them from that tower rush though, so he could afford to bring some in, and he probably should just to try and get some sort of advantage after having lost so much on that tower rush. And it looks like he should probably use his arcane scroll as well just to heal up those low footmen, because footmen are actually still pretty important in this situation. Meanwhile, some nice creeping here going off for Blast, who has picked up oh no, it's Pendant of Mana, Pendant of Energy, very nice. And looks like he's going for some even more ambitious creeping. Won't be scouted out here by Yumiko, who's just creeping his own stuff, but certainly much less useful stuff. Actually, Shockwave going off there, really annoying against those Demolishers, which obviously won't be healed by the ward. And it looks like this Blade Master gonna try and take out that Ogre Lord. Actually, Yumiko could get in here if lucky. There's nothing that would stop Blast from just coming in. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Blast should really just be careful not to let that low Ogre Lord come in here, because a couple units could just come in here and pick off the Ogre Lord for Yumiko. And Pipe of Insight, very nice for both those Spirit Walkers and that Shadow Hunter, who will have now a lot of mana, and this will cause a whole bunch of trouble. Meanwhile, a couple disposable items have been presumably picked up for Yumiko. Wand of Mana Stealing, not too nice. Roar Skull, very bad items for Yumiko. This game really not going his way. Greater Healing Potion, that's a bit better now for that Fire Lord, although certainly it's not sort of the best. And look at all these lava spawns. When you're creeping and you have these lava spawns, obviously you can just micro them so nice, and you can just get so many of them out. And unfortunately they time out a bit too early. You can't just get loads of them and then push or anything. But this expansion is now going up. Only 1 peasant currently building. A couple more sitting around. It looks like they're finally going to help out now. And meanwhile, it looks like this last turtle camp being crept out by Blast, who will pick up one of those really nice disposable items. Or most of them are pushing greater healing. That's a really nice one for him. Obviously, his Blade Master can just get in that battle and just keep on tanking. Even with that Shadow Hunter healing him up, he'll just be able to be in there for so long, and that'll just be so useful because he can put out so much damage. And it looks like Yumiko is now creeping this camp out. He really needs to get that healing ward though once he's done here, because he's taking a lot of damage. And meanwhile, it looks like Reveal being used now by an arcane tower somewhere, just so that he knows that the Blade Master isn't coming in. An even cheaper way of scouting out that Blade Master to that scout tower, although obviously that scout tower lasts forever, or lasts until it's killed at least, so that's pretty nice. And plus 4 strength, plus 4 intelligence, that's certainly it's alright. Obviously, even though the Fire Lord is an agility hero, you don't really need too much agility. He already has 5 armor, and so just all that extra intelligence means lots of extra lava spawns, and all that extra strength. It's just really nice against that Blade Master, who is now leveling up quite well, I imagine. Yeah, level 3, nearly level 4, and nearly level 4 on the Shadow Hunter as well, so we could be seeing a pretty strong army coming in from Blast soon. He'll probably want to hit the expansion, unless he gets creepjacked soon. It looks like actually it might be Yumiko who gets creepjacked after this one creep camp is crept. No, I'm not sure which way Blast is actually going. He left that one creep a bit too long. It looks like he is going for the creepjack now. Meanwhile, I think Yumiko will probably be okay, because he has managed to take out a couple of the creeps, and he'll manage to take out another one before Blast comes in. Blast actually sealing this healing up before the battle. Obviously, he wants to have that healing wave on as low cooldown as possible, and it looks like Blast could actually steal this Warlord, although being quite careful. He doesn't want to be caught massively out of position, and so he really needs to defend these Demolishers, which are now 1-0 upgraded as well. And it looks like this Blade Master is going to go to work, doing a whole bunch of damage. Just have a looks like he just picked up a Rune Bracers, and so that won't be too useful an item. He'll probably want to sell it at some point. And but meanwhile, this expansion is now up for Yumiko, and it looks like that's going to be really important for him. An invisible footman going in here just to scout what's going on, and this Blade Master is just picking off this one creep. Obviously, he can do this without without putting his army out of position. And Yumiko, unfortunately, no backpack or anything. He can't just run his invisible footman in there and steal the item camp, or the item. It looks like the Shadow Hunter's actually TPing home. Why is he doing this? Crazy move here. I'm not sure why he wants to do that. Maybe he wants to get a a good position on this on attack on the expansion or something. And meanwhile, actually, one Sork taking a lot of focus here will need to be healed up by the priest. Although it looks like there's only one priest, Yumiko could really use some more priests in his army at this point. And it looks like this expansion, this one arcane tower is the only defense that he has, and it looks like Blast is now going to move in. Actually, he has another arcane tower here. This is a pretty snazzy move because it means if you ever just run your army past, you can just get this arcane tower to drain like 5 or about maybe 60 or 70 mana off the Shadowhunter when it run past, and so they do have to stop and attack it, and that it can get pretty annoying. It can really slow them down, and obviously it isn't a huge investment on your part, plus it provides scouting of invisible units and everything. It's pretty nice. Meanwhile, it looks like Blizzard has been retrained now. Really nice choice against these 5 Demolishers who would otherwise just be destroying everything. Really put in a bad position now. Looks like Yumiko did actually TP home so he could defend this push, and now actually managing to do a whole bunch of defense here. Really nice, but although he looks like he's just taking too much damage without those water elementals to tank, he's really sort of being put out a bit too much, and also it means that there's not too much for these Spirit Walkers to use, so they can dispel all the lava spawns immediately. I mean, it looks like militia are being brought in now. Very nice choice here. We'll be able to give a very nice positioning on these demolishers and take them out pretty quickly. One of them's gone down, another one will go down soon, and there will only be one left of those original 5. Meanwhile, these heroes are taking a lot of damage. Archmage does eventually heal up and has invisibility used on him as well. It looks like he breaks out immediately though, just so he can get another attack. He's having a lot of trouble using his Blizzard, just because obviously he can just be ensnared all the time. And this I wonder if this Kodo's not eating any units, although actually this Archmage gets focused down by the level 5 Blade Master. Very nice there by Blast. We'll be able to put a whole bunch of pain now down onto Yumiko. It's going to be very hard for him to recover. Actually, he's in a very bad position here on this Shadowhunter. He needs to be careful. He doesn't have any mana left to heal, and so he needs to be able to get out of here. He doesn't have a TP left, and so the Blade Master was blocking him a bit, but it looks like most of the units here are Yumiko's. He will get the Shadowhunter kill. And meanwhile, this Firelord now down to very low health as well. The Shadowhunter has gone down. It looks like the Firelord will actually manage to get away. Very nice there. Obviously, those the Firelord just has to buy a healing potion almost immediately, buys another one as well, and looks like the Blade Master is just going to get back in the fight now, which Yumiko is actually now doing sort of alright in, considering how he was doing before, although he's still taking a lot of damage, and will lose a whole bunch of units here. He might be able to pick off some low raiders, and then use an Arcane Scroll to heal up sort of AoE, whereas Blast will have to use obviously single healing salves, which are much less useful for healing up armies, and looks like the Firelord now actually getting ensnared. There's another raider here which could get another ensnare off, although the raider is very low, I believe, the one that has the ensnare left, so he needs to be very careful, and it looks like he's actually not going to go for it. Instead he's just got actually I'm amazed that Yumiko's pushing in here, considering the sort of the health of his back army here. Obviously he's taking a lot of damage, and he might be better just to sacrifice this army. Meanwhile, it looks like the Archmage has been bought back at the tavern by the looks of things, because he has less than 100 mana. I don't think he's been doing, and actually he hasn't been gone that long anyways. It looks like Yumiko's expansion will now go down, and that's just very bad now for Yumiko. He does have this army. He needs to heal it up though. He can't continue pushing because Blast now with a level 6 Blade Master, all he needs to do is buy like a healing potion or something. He can just go back in and wreak so much havoc on this army. Really needs to use an Arcane Scroll right now. There it goes there. Very nice. I think this is putting Yumiko in a bit of a more dominant position again, and we're going to have to see whether or not he can capitalize on this. Blast, meanwhile, the scouting out for expansion is very wise, because if he, well actually, to be honest, if Yumiko did have an expansion, it'd be pretty much over. So scouting for it isn't actually too useful, but in general it's pretty important to be able to scout these corner expansions on Turtle Rock, because it's so easy to just put up a sneaky expansion there or something. And meanwhile, it looks like more and more Blizzard being used, only getting a couple hits off each time, but that's doing a whole bunch of damage. Meanwhile, very nice crit, 250 damage crit, takes out that Archmage, and looks like Yumiko being put on the back foot yet again by that Blade Master. The Firelord being ensnared now. This is really close now. What will the Blade Master be able to do here? He does have a reduced damage now, obviously, from that Firelord, and so he will need to try and stay back. He obviously can't put out all the amount of damage he really needs to, and these militia are going to be able to go to work on these raiders in conjunction with the breakers. They just do so much damage to raiders, and you really need to get a very good position. You need to be able to run your raiders back at any time, and that's pretty hard to do, pretty hard to ensure, especially on in a position like this. And meanwhile, it looks like Yumiko is actually going to be healing up again. He still only has 2 priests in this army, considering he has so many Sorks. Obviously Sorks are pretty important, but at this point I think he would be useful to have maybe a 3rd priest in his army, and And he still has these footmen. I'm not sure if he's been building them. I don't imagine he has been. But obviously, when he did have that expansion up, he might have been building some more because he just had so much extra money and he wasn't getting extra lumber. But I'm not sure. I doubt he was. It's possible though. And there's Archmage being taverned back now. Blade Master coming in though. Looks like he could get the ensnare off with this Raider. No, it looks like instead he just brought back a Shadow Hunter, who is now popping a Clarity and a Healing Potion. Actually, already up to 175 mana. Should have dropped that mana pendant for extra mana, but when he did that, but unfortunately he didn't. And it's not the end of the world. He does have a whole bunch of mana regeneration, so he probably will be okay for a little while at least. This Blade Master coming back in just wants to make sure that nothing crazy is going on. An invisible footman, meanwhile, scouting out for Yumiko. It's going to just be seeing what the upgrades are, and it looks like it's still actually 2-0 upgrades now on those demolishers, and 0-0 upgrades on the raiders. So pretty interesting composition here from Blast. Who just to get those 2 attack upgrades for those demolishers. You can see why Yumiko put so much importance on taking them down as soon as possible, because they would just absolutely destroy his casters. And level 5.5 now on this Fire Lord, and only level 4.5 on this Archmage, who does actually have an